The volcano pulsed like a living heart, its fiery veins spilling molten rivers into the jungle, turning night into a crimson dawn. Animals fled in terror, their cries drowned by the deafening cracks echoing from deep within the mountain. Then came the shattering sound, the eruption of something far older and darker than mere lava. From the molten chamber rose a massive egg, its shell glowing with veins of fire, splitting apart under the weight of what struggled within. With a violent burst, the egg exploded, scattering fragments of burning rock across the land. Emerging from the inferno was a creature unlike any seen before, a towering goblin forged from molten stone, its jagged body dripping fire and its eyes gleaming with the fury of the earth itself. It bellowed a guttural roar that rattled the jungle, a sound born from the depths of fire and chaos. Far away, in the mist-covered peaks, Kong raised his head as the echo reached him. The great ape's golden eyes burned with instinctive fury, sensing a challenger that threatened his dominion. He rose from his resting place, towering over the trees, his massive hands clenching into fists as his chest thundered with a battle cry. The ground trembled beneath his roar, a primal declaration that the jungle had a protector. The goblin took its first steps onto the blackened earth, each footfall searing the ground, leaving behind burning scars as lava dripped from its frame. The volcano behind it roared like its master, casting fire into the sky as if to crown the beast in flames. Destiny had awoken two titans, one of earth and muscle, the other of fire and magma, and the jungle braced for a battle carved into legend. Do you want me to expand the second session in the same epic style? The battlefield seethed with chaos as the volcano's fury raged all around them. Ash darkened the sky, and lava rivers hissed as they cut through the once lush jungle, turning it into a wasteland of fire. The goblin moved with terrifying force, every step cracking the ground beneath him, his molten claws tearing up earth and stone as if they were paper. With a guttural roar, he hurled a blazing boulder at Kong, the fiery mass exploding on impact, throwing shards of molten rock across the battlefield. Kong staggered back, smoke rising from his singed fur, but his eyes never wavered. His colossal fists tightened, and with a thundering leap, he swung, striking the goblin in the chest with bone-crushing power. The force echoed through the volcanic slopes, sending sparks flying as the goblin reeled, molten skin cracking where Kong's blow had landed. But the goblin was no ordinary foe. His molten body surged with power drawn straight from the volcano itself, cracks along his arms glowing brighter, feeding him with rivers of fire. With a furious shriek, he unleashed a torrent of flames from his mouth, a fiery storm that engulfed the battlefield. Kong shielded himself with his massive arms, flames licking his body, leaving burns across his skin. With a defiant roar, he charged through the inferno, his massive hand slamming into the goblin's face, sending the beast sprawling into a river of lava. The molten monster only grew stronger, rising from the flow with flames clinging to its form, more powerful, more enraged. The clash shook the earth as Kong grabbed the goblin by its arm, twisting with brute strength, only to be thrown back when the monster erupted in a blast of fire that knocked trees down like twigs. Kong roared, striking his chest again, his fury fueling his every move. The volcano itself seemed to lean toward chaos, ash clouds blotting out the stars as sparks rained down on the titans. Blow after blow, fist against fire, their battle scarred the mountain, turning jungle to ash and rivers to steam. Neither beast would yield, and with each strike, it became clear, this was no simple fight for dominance. It was a war for survival, one that would decide the fate of the jungle and the volcano alike. The summit of the volcano shook like the end of the world, every tremor splitting open new rivers of lava that cascaded down its burning slopes. Smoke and ash turned the sky into a suffocating shroud as the two titans clashed for the final time. The goblin, now swollen with volcanic power, glowed brighter than ever before, his body a furnace of molten stone, his jagged arms blazing like swords forged in hellfire. He raised them high, drawing the volcano's energy into his core, preparing to unleash a blast that could burn the jungle to ash in an instant. Kong, his fur charred and body battered, stood bloodied but unbroken, his chest heaving with the fire of defiance. His roar split the sky, louder than thunder, a primal challenge that shook the mountain itself. The goblin struck first, releasing a searing wave of fire that tore through the battlefield, vaporizing everything in its path. Kong leapt with impossible power, flames licking at his body, and slammed into the monster before the blast could fully unleash. His fists rained down like meteors, pounding against the goblin's molten chest, each blow cracking and splintering its fiery form. The goblin screeched, clawing at Kong with burning talons, raking his flesh, but the great ape refused to yield. With every wound, his rage only grew stronger. The battle reached its climax as Kong wrapped his massive arms around the goblin's glowing horns, muscles straining, veins bulging with raw might. With a bellow that echoed through the heavens, he ripped the beast from its fiery perch and hurled it into the volcano's crater. The mountain roared in fury, magma exploding upward as the goblin thrashed, its molten body sinking into the fiery abyss. The volcano swallowed its child, dragging the beast back to the inferno from which it was born. A final howl of rage echoed from the depths before silence consumed it, leaving only the rumble of cooling stone and the hiss of fading fire. Kong stood upon the crater's edge, his chest heaving, his fur scorched, his body scarred, but his spirit unbroken. He raised his fists to the heavens and let out a victory roar that silenced the volcano and carried across the jungle like a promise, that the land would remain his, protected by his strength. The skies cleared, revealing the stars once more, and the jungle, though scarred and smoldering, seemed to breathe again. King Kong had triumphed, and the legend of the goblin born from a lava egg sank back into myth, remembered only in the whispers of fire and stone.